how do you check your ego to say, oh, in fact, that opinion's probably even better than the people I interact with on a daily basis because they're not in the rooms I'm in.
Yeah.
They're not exposed to the information I'm exposed to. Now, they probably don't have the whole story, right? And that's totally fine, right?
Yep.
Synthesize the full picture from all the pieces of data that you're getting, but don't discount it just because it feels like maybe it shouldn't be coming from there, or that person shouldn't have an opinion, or like they should just be grateful to have a job, or whatever things roll through your head when you're kind of pushing back at some sort of criticism.
So you're working at Databricks now, and for a long time you have been on the dev side. Suddenly you're in third party land. You're trying to reach out to game dev companies. What is that like?
It's interesting. It's actually fun because I've been on the other side of the table for so many years that I understand that it's not personal. It's not, it is what it is when it comes to people delegating their time. And so every
Mm-hmm.
conversation I have, I'm very, very much aware that they'd probably rather be somewhere else. Um, but it's fun because I'm in a space that I've always liked being in, which is helping people solve their problems with data. And I started at Call of Duty doing that. That was, why I was hired. I was hired as a data scientist there, as a senior, not as a junior. I had already, someone else already trained me, but as a senior data scientist, and figuring out how to not only dig into our data, but storytell with what's going on was something that I was super passionate about and earned me a bunch of promotions because come to find out I was pretty good at it. And so now that I sit on the other side of the table, it's funny because I feel like I can speak the language of the people I'm talking to, and I can very much empathize with where they're at. And I don't know that I would want to do this job to any other industry. Because if I didn't
Mm,
understand my customers' like perspective very viscerally, I
yeah.
don't know that I could actually do my job effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought of selling people something that one, I don't believe in, and two, like doesn't actually fit their needs makes me very uncomfortable. Um, so now I'm like, okay, I feel like I can understand their problems, and even if they don't end up using Databricks, I get to have a lot of conversations with a lot of different gaming companies and a lot of different kinds of people and just hear about their problems and talk about the hardest problems that they face. And that's always what got me through the day, like working on Call of Duty for so many years. Like I just chased the hardest problem. I was like a dog with a car. And now I get to do that, but I'm doing that across companies. And
Mm-hmm.
it's super fun and rewarding, more so than I would have originally thought.
You've opened up a can of worms there because now I'm really curious. Like, what are the hardest problems or problem? Like, if you were to try to amalgamate or see, like, what's come up? Yeah.
I would say that the hardest problems facing the game industry right now are honestly like player retention, understanding what your players are doing, understanding who your players are, understanding where they are, how to
Mm,
meet them where they are, right? There's this whole like game development, publishing and everything, right? Like any other industry, it's this machine. There's a marketing component. There like it touches everything. And unless you have a comprehensive view of your entire game ecosystem and all of your players, and you really have this 360-degree view of everyone, it's almost impossible to answer any one question without there being a bunch of asterisks next to it. And so I
mm,
think the hardest problems I'm seeing are how do you get all that data in one place so that you can understand your game from top to bottom, get that 360-degree view, and then once you have it, what do you do with it?
mm,
What is your biggest problem? Like for me, it's like player retention, player churn, player engagement, player like marketing, personalization, recommendation systems, all of the above. But the basic problem is that we don't have a single source of truth for all of our game data. And
mm.
without that, we can't even begin to answer the questions that everyone has. But with where do you start?
Yeah. You almost have to be like cutting across multiple different databases and different teams,
Oh,
try to pull everything together.
the joins, the multiple tools, the pulling things together, the emailing CSVs back and forth,
Yeah.
that it's a fun problem to solve because I've lived that. You know, I not necessarily like I'm proud. The data maturity for Call of Duty was amazing, and it's where I learned
Mm.
a lot of this stuff. They have an amazing data engineering team. But the some of the other industries I've worked in where you were emailing PowerPoints, I worked at a company that used PowerPoint as a database. Like that is not a lie. So like
Was it a bunch of producers though? Was it just like the team health scores? No, it
it was
wasn't.
marketers. I love my
Oh my
marketing
goodness.
friends, but they know when they do that.
I've got to say, like as a producer, I've definitely seen on the production side. Okay, here's last quarter's slide, and here's the scores, and here's this one's, and you're just
Yeah,
like, oh no.
please stop.
Okay, if we can look back, I guess it's fine. It won't be hard. No. Anything else you want to say about anything there related to Databricks, that shift from again dev side to third party? Anything else that comes to mind for you?
I think no, I think honestly the biggest thing for me that I'm learning right now is that I do get to live in this space where I'm asking questions. So I'm asking questions internally at Databricks, trying to understand why we do things the way that we do, how we talk to our customers, how we meet them where they're at. But I also get to do that and ask those questions at other companies, right? So
Mm,
there is, although I do have a lot of experience, right, and I was in game dev for a long time, I do come with my own perspective. Coming to these conversations where we talk about your data architecture, your data infrastructure, having that set of fresh eyes, even if you don't buy Databricks, like it's nice because I actually don't really get paid whether you buy or not, which is great for me. So like I don't have to stress that. So I get to just be a trusted advisor to companies. But having that fresh set of eyes where I'm just kind of asking you questions and we're figuring stuff out together is really rewarding because they can end up doing or building their own thing. Like I've done that too. I've built, talked to people about tools and been like, I'll build my own.